on a squirrel, yeah. You watch a movie, you think it's like that, yeah. You watch a TV show, you think it's like that, yeah. You read a book and you think it's like that, but it hasn't been like that for very long. Because society hasn't developed the technology to place their stories and constructs in the philosophical medium that's entertaining for us to understand. And plus there's so many of us here on this planet, we need a system to organize ourselves in a way that makes us feel like we come from a tradition.
Are you recording yet?
I am recording.
You are? Okay.
Okay, so we're recording right now. Just started. Thank you guys for joining the Asking Women podcast again. This is actually, so we have a name now. It's called Asking Women. I try to get men to join this thing too, but it's been like real hard, yo. I don't know why. See, these guys just don't want to do this. But I'm really grateful that you guys decided to join. Apologies that I'm glowing. I don't know what's going on with my camera, so I will fix it next time, but that shouldn't hold us back. So yeah, how are you guys feeling about this podcast so far? I just wanted to get your feelings about this.
It's pretty productive so far. Like the feedback we've been getting, a lot of people, like there's mixed opinions, but most of them are positive. And so, yeah.
Same with me. Like a lot of my male friends are like, yo, this is amazing. Keep going, keep doing this, keep getting girls there. Especially the single guys, because I think that the information is super valuable.
Yeah.
And like some of it to you guys is common sense, but to us is like not common sense. So, yeah. So I just wanted to say one thing though. Last podcast, I was pretty upset because we let Jada off way too easy. You feel me? We were like, oh, look how inspiring Will and Jada are. It's like there ain't nothing inspiring about that. She cheated on him.
Yeah, it's
absolutely
true.
nothing inspiring at all.
And basically what she said was because she wasn't feeling good, she went to go make another man, like go find another person to make her feel good when he was her husband at the time. So either way, like you still cheated. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Does anyone, Bridget? Do you know about Will and Jada?
Yeah, kind of. But I thought they were in an open marriage. Am I incorrect about that?
no, you're right, because I thought they were open marriage too. So when like they brought up this issue about her in August, I guess because they were having an open relationships without feelings, that was okay. But when she caught feelings for August and she started taking care of him, that's when Will got like steppy because he's like the guy was close to her kids and everything. So they had to have known that him and Jada were doing something at some point, right? So I don't know.
Like even in open marriages though, like there has to be like boundaries, right? Like you can't be doing it with like people I know or like friends of friends or family of friends. Like you can't be doing that, you know, like. So I think there was like that almost like mutual unspoken like understanding that, you know, between Will and Jada, like, hey, you don't do this, like you can't be doing this with August, like that's not cool.
Yeah, I think low key they have an open marriage, but they don't wanna tell people. You know, you feel me? So, I don't know why, because like they should just be honest about it. But the way it looks, it just makes Will look like a beta.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
Okay.
This is asking women, not asking Sharif.
Regardless, there's one thing, like even if it was open marriage or not, you could tell that this guy is genuinely hurt by it. So I'm pretty sure even within their open marriage parameters or whatever, like I'm sure she knew that he would have been pretty hurt by something like that if it happened, you know? So the fact that he's showing it on camera, I can only imagine how he was feeling behind closed doors, you know, probably like 10 times worse. So she already had that like idea in her head that this would have really effed him up mentally. So regardless whether it was like open or not, if he didn't feel some type of way about it, you would have been able to tell, but you could clearly tell that this guy was not feeling it one bit. So.
No, and he tried to say some bullshit. Oh, there was something in my eye. That's why I looked. I swear to God.
Oh, man.
I swear to God, he came out. He was like, "Oh yeah, I get teary sometimes because of my allergies." I'm just like, bro, what? You look like such a dummy. So, anyways, let's start off with some memes because I just want to make sure we say the right stuff about Will and Jada. Cool?
Has anybody checked on Will, man? Because good. Hey, if you're not familiar with what's been going on, hopefully these memes will give you a little more insight. Now this is a story all about how my wife got flipped turned upside down. Look at the pain in Will Smith's face, y'all. Oh, I'm so sorry. August donkey f***ing Jada. Jaden calling Tyler the Creator his dad. Willow writing a letter to Tupac about how she missed him without even meeting him before. I know Will Smith going through it, dog. That dude just lost his whole household. This is not funny. Oh my God. Entanglement. Verb. An action that'll get your head knocked between the sink and the dishwasher.
Okay. Did you guys hear her explain what it was as an entanglement?
Mm-hmm.
I was so mad at that, man. Because Will was like, "You need to tell the people what you did." And she was like, "Yeah, I got into an entanglement with August." And I'm like, "An entanglement? That's what
She
we're gonna..."
watched that movie on Disney too much, you know, Tangled. She got confused with that. She's like, I need to come up with the word real quick, you know, entanglement. Because that's what I'm like, what is an entanglement? And if you do think about it, she kind of spun herself as like a spider in a web of lies if she wants to put it as an entanglement. Because metaphorically speaking, she kind of did spin a web of lies in order to get this situation out there. You know what I mean? Where it got to. So it's funny that she used that word entanglement because she kind of got herself stuck in it too, you know?
If they're gonna like do that, then at least like the round table, at least fess up to what the hell you're doing.
Right. So I was going to say the same thing because, you know, like if you're going to go on air about this and you're trying to be like real and like have this live session with your husband and stuff like that, like if you're going to do it, like own it, you know, like tell it how it is and fess up to it. Like, you know, I forget, I can't see who said that, but yeah, like fess up to it. And just kind of going back to the idea that you were saying, Sharif, about like Will coming off as like a beta, like I don't think that at all. Like I think there's something really beautiful and really sexy about like a guy who can be vulnerable like that and have that open communication. And it works both ways, like with Jada too. Like I appreciate that she can be vulnerable and open, but own it.
Yeah, and I feel like she was she didn't seem that, I guess, butthurt about it. Like she didn't seem so sad when she was saying, or she didn't seem like she felt for him when she was saying it. That was kind of the thing. Like, I mean, I watched this show. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's called The Steve Wilkos Show. It's basically like Jerry Springer, but like more like actual reality cases where they do like lie detector tests and stuff to ask people like if they committed a crime or did something. And before like he gives them the lie detector test, he gives them a chance, like, do you want to tell the truth? And it's always, no matter how bad it is, like some of them are actually like, oh, did you actually kill somebody or did you rape somebody? Whoa. As many as, yeah, they're pretty like deep discussions. I love that show so much. No matter how bad the crime is, it's always better to hear from someone that like, hey, I actually did this and I own up to it, rather than them just making up the lie or trying to like twist it or sugarcoat it. It just doesn't matter how bad it is. It's always better to own up to what you've done rather than you look stupid if you don't say it. You know how it is.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
All right, should we keep going?
Yep.
Entangle if you want to. The girl you want, her ex, her entanglement, you. Hey, this is true life right here, man. Well, you might want to go ahead and reconsider, man. I don't know, bro, if it's worth it.
Okay, if they're not in an open relationship,
Untangle, entangle,
wrong.
brojangle. Where the hell my second stimulus check?
Oh shit.
Denise! That's what we all concerned about. We don't care about who Jada involved with. Roll in my check. You make me want to leave and run away. Start a new entanglement with you. That's what you do. Man, I really got things coming along with you. Make me.
by the way, I really like that not all of you are loving this. We'll talk about it. Don't worry, we'll talk about it. Let's give it one
Will
more
Smith is a
minute.
strong man. I would have beat Jada with the red table.
He's not wrong.
Hey, real talk though, she messing with the right one. 'Cause dudes with millions getting cheated on. I know my brother. They say. Hashtag justice for women. He ain't lying, man. He ain't lying.
This laugh is crazy.
Red
It
pussy
is.
Jada and August.
It's kind of horrible.
Hold on, is this real? Is that really?
I personally
I gotta
cannot
chill,
stand
man.
this voice.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Wait, there's a picture of her hugging August when he was a kid.
I don't know if that's legit.
I don't think that's
Because
legit.
I hope
August,
not. That
August grew up with her kids. You guys do know that. August grew up with Willow and Jaden. They're actually all
What?
they're the same age, around the same age. That's why Will said August grew up with my children. In the interview, you guys see that he said August grew up with my kids. He was around my kids all the time, which means that like you have.
I thought he was like the uncle, you know? I didn't realize he grew up with them.
Yeah, he grew up with them. Like Will kind of raised him. I guess that's why the betrayal is a little bit more. Like August, the relationship with Jada and Will like was a little bit more because August didn't have anybody growing up. So Will was kind of his mentor, and Jada was kind of like his mom. So like me seeing her hug him in that picture now, and now seeing like knowing that she's in an entanglement with him, like dude, you know what I mean? Like just like what you're saying with Steve Wilkos, it's like were you grooming him since he was a kid? Yeah, were you grooming him since he was a kid, or was it something that he was attracted to when he got older? Because like that's weird. I didn't know there was pictures of them when he was younger. You know?
Liz, I know you're on Will's side, right?
So I'm not like strongly for or against anyone's side because I can see kind of both sides to it, but obviously what she did was wrong, and obviously he was hurt. I just think that marriage takes work, and you know, one of the little quotes or the voice was saying like, with a guy, you know, like a guy with millions is getting cheated on, no one is safe. And that kind of like hit differently because I know it's supposed to be like funny, but it's not, because it really shows that you can be rich, you can be Will Smith, but you still have to put in the work. So, I mean, it's wrong on both sides, I think, but.
Bridget?
I actually feel like the richer you are, the more of these kind of problems that you're more likely to run into. Because people are not humble when they're rich. People have other rich people around them. People are surrounded by all the materialistic shit. People get caught up in that lifestyle. So I feel like if you're rich, it's actually worse for you than if you're, you know, a decently broke human being.
More money, more problems, right?
More time to
Exactly.
Yo, Brit, we got to hear from Bridget. You're new. I know it's kind of awkward. But come on, share with us a little bit.
No, it's just I didn't really pay attention to it about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith because I'm gonna be completely honest, I really don't care. And it's not that like I'm not a fan of Will Smith or I don't appreciate his work. It's just that it's their own personal business, and it's like I don't know why it was brought to the media in the first place. Like it's something that they should have worked through privately.
I agree.
And like everyone's kind of like dogging on Will Smith, but the thing is, it's like the memes shouldn't even be happening. They should just respect that this guy is obviously very, very hurt. And like, I just don't understand why it was brought to the public's attention in the first place. And like, whether Will Smith is a celebrity or not, he's still a person, right? So we should respect their private issues. And like, I don't know why. And then to be honest, like, I don't want to see it. Like, it's not my business, and I don't want to bring down my own mood and energy by seeing that kind of behavior, that disrespectful, uncaring behavior from Jada to Will Smith. And like, maybe, you know, it takes two to tango. So maybe Will Smith, maybe he wasn't the greatest husband, maybe he wasn't the greatest father, but like, that's not my business. That's something that they should work through. And that's why I didn't really watch it, because I don't care. It's not my, you know, and I know it might sound cold, but I don't mean it.
Not at all. I don't care about celebrities either. I'm with you on that.
I want them to work through it, obviously, but I don't understand why it was brought to the public's attention. And I purposely did not watch it. So I can't say anything because I don't know what the whole story is.
No, that's cool. Because Alan actually said the same thing. He was like, my biggest problem with this is that it was on the red table. Like, why? You know, sorry to cut you off, Anita.
No, it's okay. I think it's because of like how they are with celebrity royalty. So say, for example, like if the queen does something, she has to come out and apologize, right? Because it's the queen, it's a monarch, somebody that we see in like higher stands. So the same thing works for like Will and Jada Smith. They're like legends when it comes to acting and, you know, actors and stuff like that. So something had to come out for them to have some kind of reasoning or something behind it or some kind of explanation for it to calm the public. Like, you know, when they have a press conference, when something just happens, just to calm people down. I think that's what it was. And honestly, it didn't calm anything down. It just made it worse, you know, because they tried to make it come out like they're having a conversation as a couple to try to show people these days maybe like that's what they should do. But then it didn't come out to the way that they wanted to. Like the result wasn't what it was supposed to be, right? So,
but like, if they didn't say anything, would people have known anyway? Like, did people know that they were having issues in their marriage?
That's the thing is, I think a lot of people found out about it during the red table. So that's why I was like, huh?
Yeah, right? That's why I think they should have just kept it private from the very beginning.
But what happens in an extra month when it does come out to the rest of us?
And they fight in public or something, and now they take care of it and clean up a bigger mess, right? They have to get sufficient control before it happens.
Let's keep back in mind that, Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say back to, you know, like we were saying, they might be stars, but they have their personal lives. So like, thanks for telling us and like maybe bursting that bubble of like the perfect marriage, but like, and that you have to have communication no matter what, but like still, they have their own lives. They have the right to their own privacy.
Okay, guys, I'm satisfied with this. Let's jump into the next topic. This one's 5 minutes. What's up, guys?
Myron Gainnes here from Blood Fitness. Today we're going to talk about why you must pay for the date as a man when you go out with a woman. And it's not what you think. Let's get into it. So I already know what's going to happen. I'm going to get a bunch of comments. Oh, you're a beta. Oh, you're a cock. Whoa, you're a sib. Oh. No. Guys, the reason why you pay for dates, it's not for her. It's for you. When you pay for the date, guys, that automatically conveys authority, leadership, decisiveness, and more importantly, you control the frame, okay? And if you don't know what controlling the frame means, I highly suggest you read the book, The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi, okay? To distill it, she's operating in your world. That's what happens when you pay for the date. You can dictate the terms and you can lead the interaction in the way that you want it to go. However, if you want to be a cheapskate and tell her, hey baby, you want to Venmo me 21.23 so we can split this drink check? Like, she's gonna lose attraction for you, man. It's just the way it is. I don't care what anyone says. The most woke woman that is super liberal is still gonna find it unattractive that she has to pay when she goes out on a date with a guy. Because the thing is that when you pay, it signifies, number one, that you have expendable income. Number two, that you have provisioning abilities, okay? Just like when you see a hot girl with like long hair and nice boobs and nice butt and everything like that, you look at her like, wow, she's attractive. Do you know why? Probably because she's a good candidate to hold your babies. That's why you're attracted to her. So when you pay for a date, you convey attractive male features that are attraction triggers for women. And one of them, guys, is security and provisioning. So when you're able to pay for the date, it allows her to understand, okay, this guy has his life together from a financial standpoint. Obviously, the first date needs to be a low investment. But with that said, you need to be the one investing, not her. Because if you let her invest, she's gonna lose attraction. She's gonna start to be able to manipulate things within the date. If she's paying, she could start saying, okay, let's go to this place. Okay, let's go to this place. Next thing you know, you're drinking a sex on a beach at some tiki bar, like 20 miles from your house. And you don't wanna do that, okay? You wanna make sure that you're the one paying for the date so you can have it close to your place so you can do what you wanna do, whether it's getting her back to your place, going for a walk in your neighborhood, maybe you gotta wake up early the next day, you gotta go to work so you don't wanna travel far. This is why you pay, guys, to put the ball in your court for optimal success. When you're not in control of things, other people are gonna take control. And when other people take control, they don't care about you getting what you want, all right? So you have to be a selfish prick in this case, and you have to control the interaction to get what you want. So I know you guys are probably wondering, okay, but so sure know it all. What should you do? Basically, keep it simple, guys. First date, you can go for like a walk, get some tacos maybe, you get a drink, you can get a coffee, a tea, whatever it may be. Make sure it's low investment, but pay for it, guys. Don't be a cheapskate, all right? Because with that said, let's say she shows up late or something like that, then that's different. Like you go ahead and you get your drink or your coffee, and then, you know, if she wants to get one after the fact, after she came late, then she could pay her own way, you know, and then she's got to make it up to you on the date and demonstrate how she's worthy of even continuing to hang out with you. But that's another video, right? Dealing with women that come late and everything like that. In general, guys, assuming she shows up on time and you guys like each other and she's pleasant and everything like that, you should pay for it. That way you control the frame, you're able to dictate things, puts you in an authority role and a leadership role, and this is what's going to make you more attractive. So you're not paying for her, guys. You're paying for yourself to exemplify yourself as an attractive male because you're hitting on attraction triggers of provisioning and excess resources. And these are the traits that women are hardwired to look for in men, okay? Just like you like long hair and nice breasts and nice butt and everything like that, that's what they look for on their end, okay? So don't be a cheapskate, pay for the date, just keep it low investment and have fun out there, all right? Don't be one of these cheapskates, I'll pay for it, knuckle dragging idiot. Like, it's 2020, man. Like, girls have more options now than ever before. If you have that mentality, well, you're gonna spend a lot of nights alone.
Can I laugh now? Yo, what was that about? Like, did he just mansplain how to mansplain to us? I think he mansplained, like, yeah, that was very misogynistic and very strong, you know, on the male part. Like, you know, if you do this, you're commanding, you're controlling, you're this, you're that. But that's not how we see it.
No, but you know what's funny? He said it's not about her, it's about you. Like, you should be doing it for yourself, not her. But he always makes examples that are because of her, not because of you. Like he's like, oh, you should do it for yourself, not for the girl. But you also have to show the girl, or you have to make sure that she's still attracted to you. So that's why you have to do it. But that's you thinking about her, not yourself. You know, like it kind of didn't make sense what he was trying to convey. I think he was explaining a little too much. It's not that deep, really.
Yeah, he had to stretch it out for the 5-10 minutes, right?
Yeah, he wanted views on his YouTube channel, probably.
I kind of get what he was getting at, but at the same time, you're right. It came off extremely masculine, and yeah.
So what I don't, so he said a couple of things that I actually agreed with, and then he said a lot of things. So the things that I did agree with is if you don't take control. If you don't take control of things, somebody else will. This is absolutely true. If you don't take control of things, somebody else will. That applies to life, that applies to work, that applies to your relationship. But what I don't like is that, you know, I think that women are attracted to like leadership, and they are attracted to people who take initiative. Like, I know, you know, lots of women who are into that. Like, okay, I like a man who can plan things, who's going to demonstrate effort, because that's going to show me that you're really interested, right? But I don't like that he started kind of turning it into a manipulation scheme, you know, like
Exactly,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, like I'm, you know, like if I pay, she's going to work within my frame of perspectives, right? And it's like, no, I really don't have to. Like, if you want to pay, I'm gonna let you pay. It doesn't mean I have to sleep with you. I don't even have to kiss you. Like, even if you're cute. Because that mind frame is not sexy.
Of course.
I think probably the sexiest thing is when there is no, like they're not pushing that on you. You know what I mean? Like you have your meetup, especially if it's a first date, right? You're meeting up, you're just talking, you're getting to know each other. And there's not this push to have to kiss a stranger. I know it's also COVID, but like, don't push that on me right now. I don't know you yet.
Not even that though, with the way he's like kind of implementing it, he's like, oh, if you pay, you have control of the date afterwards. No, it's like, dude, like, are you gonna tell me where we're going, or are you gonna ask me my opinion? Because in the whole thing, like, there's none of this, like, what's her opinion? Like, where does she want to do? You know, he's like, oh, if you want to take her for a walk, or if you want to take her after, if you want to take her here, you want to take her there. It's like, dude, what about where I want to go? Are you kidnapping in the situation? You know what I mean? Like.
And he says something wrong, by the way. If a girl is attracted to you, she'll come back around regardless.
Regardless,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So I think that's something that guys don't really understand. If she's into you, she's into you. She'll come back around, you know? Like if you can't pay for whatever reason, like that's understandable. Not everybody has the money, or you know, sometimes you have a tough time, like or whatever, but you see somebody you like and you want to go on a date with them. So girls understand that too. And if they want to be with you, or if they're attracted to you, they're going to go on another date. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You could go for a Tim Hortons coffee, for God's sake. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive. That's the thing. Is
exactly.
Like, if you can't pay for a cup of coffee, how are you guys going to go on trips together or do anything else you want to do in life? I've always growing up wanted to be that person, especially a girl who's just like, no, I can pay for my own cup of coffee, or, you know, I'll buy you a drink. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, now that I'm in like my 30s, I've also realized that like a lot of those guys, you know, if they don't even offer, or, you know, and it's not, I hate this conversation because it always sounds like you're, you know, all about money, but it's more about like going back to kind of what he said is like, you know, that person can support themselves and support you if they can buy a $2 coffee.
Yep. And that's important too. And the thing is like, oh my God, I completely lost my train of thought.
Bridget,
wow.
You'll
That
be
was,
next.
wait. Oh God. Someone else talk and then I'll think of it again.
Sorry, can I just make a comment? Okay, so personally, on a first date, I always like to pay half and half. And then in future dates, there'll be a trade-off. Maybe I'll pay for dinner and then he'll pay for dessert, right? Or maybe I'll pay for dinner one day, he'll pay for dinner another day.
Yes, but equal partners.
What I don't appreciate about what this guy said was it's everything he's saying was all out of ego. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when I pay for something, it's because I genuinely enjoyed my time, or I genuinely want to pay for that person because I like the person, or, you know, I want to show my appreciation. But this guy is talking strictly out of pride and ego about wanting control, manipulation. And then, you know, as females, yeah, sure, we admire the leadership qualities in men. That's what we look for. As a woman, we want a guy who can take care of us or is independent. We want to see that, or is with us as an equal partner, right? But taking control, that's not what we want as a leader. So if he were to kind of set the atmosphere, if he were to say, oh, do you want me to pay for you? I'm totally fine with paying, or would you like to pay half and half? If the man were to take the leadership role by giving us options and respecting our decisions and how we want to approach and pay, that is a leadership quality. That is being a leader, not paying because he wants to control us.
Because he wants to get laid.
And then another thing I think is really strange is he's like, guys, it's 2020. Yeah, it's 2020. We don't think like that anymore. We don't want
Equality.
Where's the buzzer? Where's the buzzer? She needs it.
Hi.
There you go.
As
Okay, one last comment, Liz.
Yeah, I was just gonna say two things, two short things. So I do agree with everything that Bridget said, and just about the manipulation part, is that, you know, like guys think like, oh, you're gonna operate on their terms if they pay for the date, but really it's kind of like women are also kind of sometimes testing whether or not, like, how gracefully you can accept a no, right? Like, it's honestly like, if I'm not attracted to a guy, but like we're just talking, we're being friendly, and a guy like asked me out on a date, or he wants to have sex, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't do that, and they're like, that's fine, like, I'm totally cool with it, we can wait. Oh my God, that's so sexy, I'm coming back around. Like, that is sexy, like, for someone to be able to very gracefully say, no problem, like, my main concern is that you're comfortable with me, like, that's sexy. Two is that it is 2021, you know, like, a lot of women today make more money than their partners. And my whole thing is that I always make sure that I can fund myself so that money is never a factor in my relationships. And so if he's sitting there trying to use money as control, it's not going to work for a lot of women in 2021.
Boom. Damn, mic
One
drop.
more thing I want to add that I remembered it. One more small thing. I just want to say that it's not that, like, when I said it's not that deep, I'm just thinking like some girls just want a gentleman, you know, like someone who opens the door, someone who asks you questions, what do you like? So it's when someone wants you to pay, or if you offer to pay, it's not because, yeah, it's not just because it's a like materialistic thing. It's just, oh, you're a gentleman, thank you for asking, or thank you for offering, or thank you for paying. So that's what women look for, a gentleman.
Can I just say one thing? I don't know why, but I always would pay. I always pay. I don't know why. But you know what? Many times I would be like, they wouldn't let me. You know what I mean? Like they'd want to go Dutch, but I always would assume that I'm paying. But if she's like, oh, hang on, I want to, no, let's go 50-50, then yeah, sure, why not? But I'd never assume otherwise.
But the fact that you offer, that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point, like offering. But demanding that you pay simply out of ego, that's not it. That's not it.
It's like an act of kindness kind of thing, rather than just like do it. You know what I mean? Like telling, yeah.
Yeah, personally, I think that if you think that paying for a meal entitles you to like physical whatever, I think that's sick. I think it's a problem. But you know who? I'm just a guy. I don't know. Let's go on to the next video.
Hey,
Shit,
Steve.
but different.
I've been single for a long time. I mean, a long time. So I'll go on those dating.
How long is that, babe? Ma'am?
No, about 17 years.
Oh, okay.
I go on these dating website advice things, and I read recently that a woman should offer to pay for 50%, half the dinner on the first date. So they said men would definitely say no, but they'll appreciate the effort. Well, the last couple of times they've said yes. So I thought, this backfired. Let me see. My question is, do men really appreciate it? And should women offer to pay for half on the first date?
No, they don't appreciate it, and you shouldn't offer it. It's just, look. You know what? I really get sick of dating sites trying to play both sides of the fence. You want to match a woman up with somebody, but then you want her to be this totally independent, standalone person. Well, guess what? A man can't be an independent, standalone person. A man, a heterosexual man, is nothing without a woman. Zero. Nothing. Ask him. Listen to me. Ask any heterosexual man and he'll tell you, without women, this don't work. This is nothing without you. Do you understand that? That's
This
period.
is a man's
so
world.
Stop teaching these women stuff that they don't need to know. If a man asks you out and he's not willing to buy you a plate of food, how can you possibly think that this guy can take care of a family? It doesn't make any sense. It don't make no sense. You can't feed me, but we finna go somewhere and have some kids. Who's going to require constant feeding? Excuse me. Men, we know. Real men, we know that if we take you out, we supposed to pay. We know that. We know that. We already know that, man. Listen, let's stop playing this game. We know the deal. Because let me explain something to you. When we're all across the room and we meet you, when we see you, we see the only reason we walk over to you and we start talking to you is because you have something we want. It's the only reason. We walk over to you because we see something we want. Our job as men is to go over there and see what it's going to cost us to get what we want. That's what it is. So we already know this is going to at least start with a plate of food. Then we know if we're going to keep getting what we want, we're going to have to make some type of commitment. Then we know if we want to keep getting what we want, we might have to buy a ring up in here. Then we know if we keep getting what we want, we're going to have to ask you to marry us. Then if we want to keep getting what we want, we're going to have to put you in a house that you can call your own. We know that. We know that. Don't ever stop requiring that, because real men know that's what we do.
It's the same shit but different, you know?
The way that he put it out is different because he wasn't doing it based off of ego. He was actually talking from the point of view of like an actual male trying to give advice to somebody. Not just like, you should rule your female and tell her what to do. And, he's like, you should leave, men know what they need to do and it's their duty to take care of women. Like he's kind of giving the aspect of men are the providers still, right? So if I can provide for my woman for first dinner, then I can provide for her for another date, then a wedding, et cetera, it kind of builds like a structure. So it's different.
Okay, I don't want to belabor the topic, but does anyone have anything else to say on this?
Yeah,
I agree with him. That's it.
You're next, Bridget.
I think his way of thinking is a little traditional. It's a new generation. I think our way of thinking is a little more progressive. I can understand what he's trying to say, as in the man has to kind of show the woman that, I don't know how he said it, but like buy her love, was that what he said? Through a plate of food or something like that.
He was saying like, how can you expect a guy to like provide for a family if he can't pay for a plate of food?
Right. But see, I think the problem with like the masculine community is that I think they must misunderstood that women want to see effort, not necessarily like objects or food or money or a house. It's just if the guy shows effort in caring for us or making an effort in the relationship, for us, that's enough. So again, going back to what I said before, if the guy offered to pay, and then maybe he pays this time. He says, let me pay this time, but next time, why don't you buy me a cup of coffee? That kind of effort is, I think, what we appreciate more than if the guy were to say, let me pay for your food, because in the future, I'm going to buy a house. It's like, I think Steve Harvey is like, he's got the right idea, but it's a little traditional, or maybe there's like some kind of anyway, that's what I think.
I wanted to get your opinions on the dowry, because like I'm kind of from a traditional family, right? And typically if you want to get with certain women, they won't even talk to you if you can't provide a dowry of like 10K.
It's true.
At least. I've heard of stories of girls in Pakistan who like demand 50K dowries, and they get it. So what do you guys think?
So I come from a culture that does practice the dowry. But it's not usually the women who demand it. It's usually like it's a practice. The women's family will usually ask for a dowry of some sort. And it just completely depends on so many things, like
Is
how
that like a
educated.
Chinese thing or a
So
Christian thing or?
In Hinduism, it's the same thing too. We have it
Yeah.
in Hinduism as well.
Oh, but in
Exactly.
Hinduism, does the dowry go to the guy or the girl?
It goes to the girl because you're paying basically to get their daughter. So you have to see how much riches that you have in order to weigh out what their daughter would cost, technically. So
Yeah, I get
I
it.
think culture, it's like the idea of like you're paying money. It's twofold, right? You're paying money because you would be offsetting the hardship that you would be putting onto the females or the woman's
taking them
family.
away from their families. Yeah, their
Like
family's house.
she was a breadwinner, or like she, was a translator for me and I can't speak English well. Like the inconvenience and the hardship that you're putting on the family, you are paying for that. And on top of that, it's also kind of insurance money, because say if you're a bad husband and you assault her, or you cheat on her or whatever, and she can come back to the family, but they don't have to pay back that money because you were in the wrong. So it's kind of almost like an insurance policy as well. But yeah.
Cool. That was amazing, guys. Let's do one last video. And I wanted to. This is different. Okay, I'm testing content on you guys. It's a little more spiritual, so we'll see if you guys hate it.
Young man, why are you eating that fish? And the young man says, because I love fish. He says, oh, you love the fish. That's why you took it out of the water and killed it and boiled it. He said, don't tell me you love the fish. You love yourself. And because the fish tastes good to you, therefore you took it out of the water and killed it and boiled it. So much of what is love, right, is fish love, right? And so, young couple falls in love. Young man and young woman fall in love. What does that mean? That means that he saw in this woman someone who he felt could provide him with all of his physical and emotional needs. And she saw in this man somebody she feels that she can write. That was love, right? But each one is looking out for their own needs. Right? It's not love for the other. The other person becomes a vehicle for my gratification. Too much of what is called love is fish love. Right? An external love is not on what I'm going to get, but what I'm going to give. We had an ethicist, Rabbi Dr, who said, the people make a serious mistake in thinking that you give to those whom you love. And the real answer is, you love those to whom you give. Right? And his point is, if I give something to you, I've invested myself in you. Right? And since self-love is a given, everybody loves themselves, now that part of me has become in you, right, there's part of me in you that I love. Right? So true love is a love of giving, not a love of receiving.
That was beautiful.
That was cute. I like that. I do think that not everybody loves themselves, which doesn't allow them to love other people. I would like that correction there. But other than that, I think that was really, really cute.
He's adorable. Any other comments on that, or
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Bridget?
Okay. Yeah. So I guess like if we're gonna go on with like the spiritual aspect of things, like there's a saying that every person you meet is a reflection of yourself. So if you were to meet a loved one or like a partner, by loving yourself, you are going to express that love and receive it in return, because that person is your mirror. So I thought that's what he was going for, but yeah, that's kind of like what I took from it. So by giving yourself love, you will receive it, because you are mirroring that love, if that makes sense. So that's what I took. That's what I took from it, if that makes sense.
Cool.
Anyway, Anita, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Well, with me, I just think that like what he was saying is like, A lot of us tend to, like, for example, when we first start dating somebody, we date them for their potential or what we see in them. So for example, like when we start dating somebody, we love all the qualities that they have and we only love the good qualities kind of thing. But then when it comes to like the bad qualities and stuff, like nobody wants to deal with that. So with the way that he's saying that, like, even if we wanted to put it into today's world, it's not real, because what we give out is not always what we would get back. And that's how relationships end, because somebody's giving 80 and another person's giving 20, right? So I could give out 80% of love and that person could be over there giving out 20% because they're really not interested in me. They're interested in either the money aspect, either they're, you know, doing it for like status or whatever it is because, you know, I'm famous or something, or they might just be doing it for themselves.
Guys usually do it for sex.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, right? They're doing it to get something. But if they're doing it the way that they're saying, like a lot of people end up investing too much love in the beginning because they feel like they're investing in somebody that's like an investment, so that's for the future. But that's the problem. Like a lot of people date to marry, and that's what we have to stop. Like when you're dating somebody, just date them. Date to see where it goes. Don't just date to get into a relationship because you want to marry the person right away. You know what I mean? And that's where like I think that he was getting at too. Like the amount of things that you give is what you get back. So in order to do that, like you have to be able to understand that if the people sometimes don't have the capacity to give back what you give out because of your experiences and what you've been through. So therefore now you're able to give out a lot more because my experiences are different than yours and I'm more empathetic than you are, for example. You know what I mean? So you'll never get back the same energy from somebody as much as you put out there, you know? So in that way, it's kind of a little bit, you know, on the teeter-totter that point he had.
Cool.
That also kind of brings us back to what we learned last week from the languages of love. What was it? The 5 languages of love, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Where, yeah, you might be putting yourself out all in, you know, that you love them, where, you know, maybe they do things for you, but that's how they show it. So you're not lining up, right? And if you don't understand each other's languages of love, you can feel like either party's being taken advantage of or not giving as much because you don't understand what your partner's doing.
Absolutely, I agree.
And the concept of like the 5 love languages, like everybody knows the idea of like the golden rule, right? Where you treat other people how they want to be treated. But I feel like in the most recent years, I've come to realize the platinum rule instead, which is you're supposed to treat people how they want to be treated.
Yeah, exactly.
Never heard that before. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I should. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on this. To the team, you know, you guys were amazing. I don't know what you guys been doing, but like everyone had wicked insight. So to the audience, thanks for watching. This will be up on culturetoronto.com. There's a bunch of cool videos up there. We also have merch. So like, by the way, team, so I don't know if you could see this. Let me just step back a little bit. Boom. Feel me? Okay. If you girls want a free t-shirt, just give me your address and size. I'm gonna hook you guys up, and that's about it. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
This will feel how new style is You say, I got a love face every time I wanna be down with you. Yeah, I got a love face, and every time till it gets out about. Can I say, I wanna be there for you. Every time I wanna be there for you, like it don't get old. I need so good, girl. Yeah, I wanna say, babe, but you won't be there. Put your hands all over, get yourself on